Hello and welcome to today's vlog. I'm doing something kind of a little bit different this weekend because my boyfriend is currently on a solo trip to Rome to see his family, which means I have the apartment all to myself. And I have been thinking quite a bit about starting a new series here on my channel, which is a little bit more kind of like a old school YouTube vlog sort of session that I do once a month. So fingers crossed, this is going to be the first instalment of something kind of fun. And this weekend is the perfect opportunity to do a little bit of vlogging because, as I mentioned, I've got the apartment to myself and I've also got quite a bit of time on my hands to really kind of get stuck into some of my projects, try and clear up some of my works in progress, and also show you some other kind of cute little details and things that have been going on behind the scenes with me here in Italy. I'm actually just about to pop out to my local haberdashery because I need to pick up some buttons because I'm currently knitting up a Lulu Slipover by Petite Knit, which is her kind of very cool, minimalist, like high neck slipover that has a toggle or button closure at the side. So I'm hoping that I'll pop to my local haberdasher, or merceria as they're called in Italy, and pick up some nice classic tortoiseshell buttons because I have a real thing for tortoiseshell at the moment. I just think there's something very classy and kind of cool about it, and I'm trying to sort of fit it in everywhere, into accessories and in this case buttons. So yeah, my merceria, which I have mentioned in my previous videos, mercerias here in Italy, they tend to sell all sorts of random stuff. This one, like many that you come across, also sells underpants and like bras and stuff, as well as yarn and sewing supplies. It's actually a really great little shop, but I still find it funny coming from the UK and kind of getting my craft supplies at somewhere like a John Lewis, going into one of these like little old school mercerias that's full of all sorts of treasures and strange things. But the ladies in there are really helpful, even though my Italian is pretty rubbish still. So yeah, I'm really hoping that we're going to find something nice. And just to show you, before I go out and try and find my buttons, this is the Lulu Slipover that is currently a work in progress. You can see it's actually kind of almost done. But what happens is you knit the rib all around and then you join it up down here with the buttons, and that's kind of what holds it closed. So rather than being a usual kind of tube-like slipover, I actually think this might be a little bit more flattering and a little bit more wearable for me, especially because I'm not really like straight down, as in my proportions. I do go out at hips quite a bit more, so hopefully this will be really, really good for that. And yeah, you can see the colour is a beautiful kind of chocolatey, almost slightly red brown that I reckon tortoiseshell will be just perfect with. But first things first, what I'm wearing today is of course my Friday tee, also by Petite Knit. Many of you will be familiar with this knit because I have had it for several years now. It's something that I tend to wear more in the spring and the autumn just because of the capped sleeves, which I do think are very, very cute. It's definitely one of the finer and more kind of arduous knits that I've ever made, but I do really love it, and I just like how comfortable and casual and kind of cute it feels when I wear it. Unfortunately, today is probably going to be my last actual opportunity to wear this because in Italy, I don't know about you, if you guys live in Europe, have you been experiencing like absolutely massive amounts of rain? We've just had rain for what feels like 2 whole months straight, and I haven't really been able to decide exactly what to wear. So I haven't really been wearing knits because it's kind of been too hot, and I haven't really been able to get out my proper kind of summery attire. So yes, say hello and goodbye to my Friday tea, because today it's mid-20s and probably the last good opportunity to get another wear out of this before it goes away. At least until the autumn anyway. It will definitely be back in the autumn. And let me just put this down to show you. I am wearing my Friday tee just with this really comfy pair of jeans, which are from And Other Story, I believe. They're really nice, kind of like semi-wide leg. Sorry, I don't know what this stance is, but anyway. But yeah, semi kind of like wide leg jeans. Cute, just with this little knit t-shirt situation. An outfit that I really enjoy and feel very kind of comfortable in. I'm going to take this along with me, I reckon. Or I might take the swatch, actually, just so I can place the buttons on the knit material and see exactly how it will look when I've sewn them on. So yeah, just let me get my bag and then we will be ready to go. Ah yes, and I did actually put this in here earlier as I suspected. So this is the little swatch that I'm going to take with me to the haberdashery, and yeah, I'm really happy with the way that this fabric is turning out. It's just the Hobbii kid silk with their wool, so not the fine merino but the thicker wool, which I think is supposed to be maybe around like a sport weight. I'm using it in the Lulu Slipover in the place of something a little bit thinner, but I'm finding that so far it's actually working really well, and it's creating a fabric that I think will be very warm and very cosy for the autumn. And yes, it's going in my trusty Suzanne bag as always. If you guys follow me over on Instagram, you will know this bag, since my boyfriend got it for me a couple of years ago at Christmas. It goes with me everywhere. I just feel like it's one of those bags that kind of goes with everything. There's something about this colour of brown. It just is very rich and very chocolatey and lovely. And quite actually similar to this, isn't it? If you hold them side by side. Alright, we are back and I have the goods in here. The ladies in there, as they always are, were extremely nice and very, very helpful. She let me look at a lot of different types of buttons because I think there was a size listed on the thing, but when I got to the shop, I actually kind of forgot what the exact number was. So I kind of went off a sense of roughly how big I thought that they were supposed to be according to the size of the thing. So I'm really, really hoping that I got the right size of button because I'm really quite excited about the way that they look. Now, they gave them to me in a cute little paper bag, which always makes me happy. And I will just show them to you now. I got extras just so if one ever were to fall off, I would have a spare. And yeah, there they are. I'm just going to pull the camera a bit closer and place them on this so you can see kind of roughly how it looks. So you can see I've got my Lulu Slipover partially knit up here. And the idea is that these lovely buttons are going to go on a section of rib. If you've ever made a cardigan before, you'll probably be familiar with what you have to do when you attach a button. You basically make one side that is just plain rib, and you make a corresponding side that has some yarn overs or any sort of stitch that will create a hole. You do a few of those on top of each other, and that creates the buttonhole for the button. And yeah, it's really clever. The first time I ever did it, I thought it was such an amazing and kind of ingenious technique. I'm used to it now because I've done it quite a few times, but I still do find it quite fun when I actually attach buttons. And these are the buttons up close. They all look quite different. They're just plastic ones, and I think they were about 80 cents each, which I don't think is too bad considering they look very nice, very kind of classic tortoiseshell buttons. And if I place them on this, we can get a sense of how they will look. I'm just going to zoom you in so you can kind of see all the details. And yeah, I think I'm quite happy with that. Even though it is like a kind of different shade of brown, I do enjoy the juxtaposition, and I do think that it will give this quite a polished final look when everything is all kind of blocked and ready and the buttons are in place. So yeah, very, very happy with those. And I do reckon they're probably the perfect size. I will check the pattern and confirm with you later whether I've completely messed that up. But I'm feeling pretty good about it at the moment. And I am really very happy with the way they look on this fabric. Now, aside from my button purchasing, the other thing that I wanted to show you today is actually some of the new acquisitions and yarn sort of bits that I have been gifted over the last few months. I'm in the very lucky position to actually have companies that send me yarn, and I never take that for granted. I still find it to be one of the most amazing and insane things that people actually want to send me their beautiful yarn to try out. And I have quite a bit at the moment, some of which will have to wait for the autumn because it's probably a little bit too warm for this weather, but some which I'm going to knit up quite soon. So I'll bring that over and I'll go through some of the different balls with you just to give you a little bit of a look. First off, we have all of the stuff in this box. This is a We Are Knitters box, but it has a mix of stuff in it, which you can see here, and I will talk you through this in one moment. And this is actually the yarn that came in that We Are Knitters box, which I will show you first of all. This is such a gorgeous, like perfect classic shade of grey. It's got quite a lot of kind of lighter bits that peek through in it, so it gives it a kind of mottled look, but that's what I particularly love about this yarn. The shade is Spotted Dark Grey, and this is the We Are Knitters Baby Alpaca, which is just 100% baby alpaca, and honestly it's like one of the softest yarns I've ever used. It's so gorgeous and luxurious. I'm knitting it up right now into a tonight top that I'm very, very excited about because I think it will give all of the chic kind of Princess Diana vibes. And I'll just bring that over so I can actually show you how the fabric looks that I'm knitting it up. I've got my basket of whips. Yes, a basket. Yes, I am supposed to be a monogamous knitter, but as you can see, that is not going exactly according to plan at the moment. I will blame it on the fact that I'm knitting some projects on such tiny needles that sometimes I do feel like my hands need a little bit of a break from knitting on tiny needles. So I have other projects on the go that are a little bit bigger, and yeah, but still, I'm making excuses. This is an insane amount of whips on the go, and part of the reason why, unfortunately, I haven't made one of my monthly What I Knit videos for a while, just because I've had some kind of decision paralysis about what I want to make, but I've also been working on a few projects that just seem to be taking forever. And yeah, I don't think someone wants to watch an update of me saying, oh, I've knit another like 5 centimetres of stockinette. But I don't know, you know, maybe there are some people who want to watch that, but yeah. Partially me not having time, partially me choosing the most insane tiny needle projects. And here it is, my tonight top. I'm just grabbing it out for you, trying not to let my needles slip off. You can see I've actually done, sorry it's very crinkled, but I've actually done quite a bit of this now. I'll hold it up for you a little bit closer so you can see what it looks like. So when it's on, it will be stretched. It's going to have the high neck, which I think is very pretty and is the thing that makes it seem very elegant and kind of like Princess Diana inspired. And yeah, the yarn, a little bit crinkled from being in the basket, but if you look at the stitches and how beautiful they look, ah, goodness, this yarn is just really, really special. And that's exactly why I chose to make something that would actually be touching my neck with it, because I thought with a yarn this soft, you kind of don't want to waste it on something that doesn't make a lot of contact with your skin. So I reckon once this is done, I will probably be able to wear it sort of autumn and kind of springtime. I had hoped to be finished with it so much sooner, but I am kind of trying to be really careful and knit this up in a way that does the yarn justice. So yeah, that's my first yarn, this beautiful edition from WAK, or We Are Knitters, Baby Alpaca in, what is it? Spotted dark grey. Really, really lovely, and so grateful that they sent this to me. Now the second yarn I want to show to you is the yarn that I'm using for my Lulu slipover. I mentioned it briefly before, and it is the Hobbii Friends Kid Silk and wool. So wool is their thicker base, and the Kid Silk I have used before in some of my other projects, if you have watched some of my older videos. This is the wool Hobbii Friends range. And the Friends range is basically designed so that you can mix and match these colours across all of their different bases. And that's something that I do really, really like about the idea of the Friends range, because you can see that colour match is really very good. And it just means you get garments that are kind of spot on and don't have a mottled effect. Because I do like a mottled effect when I mix mohair and different yarns, but sometimes I want one bold, sort of punchy colour as well. And yeah, the Friends range just allows me to achieve that. So they sent me this, which is really gorgeous together, and is turning into this lovely fabric that I have shown you already. This is quite a bit thicker than the thinner kind of like fingering weight wool merino that they have, but I am really enjoying using it, and I like the fact that it's a little bit more rustic and a little bit more toothy. I think it could probably also work quite well for colour work, which brings me on to the other kind of bits that I got from Hobbii. In this huge box we have so yeah, more of this lovely chocolatey shade of wool, just the Friends wool. And I'm going to pair it with this sort of turquoise and with white to make a, I think it's called a Norma sweater by My Favourite Things. I will show you a picture of it sort of up here right now so you can get a sense, and these will be the colours. I think that that will actually work really, really well. But again, this is probably one that I'm going to save for autumn, because it is a more sort of autumnal and cosy jumper with a high neck. And this one has the thick sort of sleeves as well, because yes, my tonight top is high necked, but it doesn't have the thick sleeves that will make it just that bit kind of toastier. And yeah, more Friends wool. Beautiful colours that are quite different for me, but I think will be quite interesting together as well. Now the other balls that I got from Hobbii include their lovely Kid Silk in this beautiful, beautiful shade of blue. I got enough of this to make probably a thin sweater with 2 strands held together. That's my idea. So again, looking at maybe a pattern from My Favourite Things, like her blouse, number 1, I want to say. The numbering, it's like, yeah, it makes it challenging. But yeah, I think that a light sort of double-stranded, simple mohair blouse type top could be really amazing in this colour. I'm also thinking about maybe making it and giving it to my mum. because she has the most beautiful kind of like platinum blonde, white almost hair. I think that this would go really lovely with her hair colour. Now the last thing that I got from Hobbii is something which is a little bit more summer appropriate, because most of the other things that I was immediately drawn to are very much autumn winter time yarns. But you know, you like what you like, and I just like knitting with wool and mohair. I just love it, it makes me happy. So what are you going to do? However, I am trying to branch out, and if you saw my last video, which was about summer bag patterns, this is one of the yarns that I'm going to try and use to make a summer bag. And this is the Hobbii Baby Cotton Midi, which is just in a really classic, like sandy colour. I think it would be really, really nice for a bag. But yeah, we will have to see. I might have to hold it double because this is quite thin. I would say it's kind of like maybe a sport or yeah, probably a sport weight. So maybe holding this double to make one of the worsted weight bags that I talked about in my video. This was actually some that they gave me in the past, but I'm finally coming around to actually using it. I'm not normally someone who kind of hoards yarn and doesn't use it. In the past, I tended to be someone who would only buy stuff for a project, but now when I get given stuff, it does sometimes take me a little while, especially when I'm making kind of small needle projects, to work my way through a kind of backlog of yarn. But I am very much committed to trying not to get too much more yarn over the next few months, especially in the autumn time, because I have so many balls that are really beautiful that I really want to use up. So yeah, this was a quick overview of some of the yarns that I have got quite recently and some of the yarns that I'm using at the moment. I'm really excited to work my way through some of these lovely balls, and you will probably see them popping up on my monthly kind of what I knit videos very, very soon. Hi everyone, and welcome to day 2 of my little weekend vlogging session. I'm a little bit disappointed today because I don't think it was supposed to rain. As I was mentioning yesterday, the rain in Italy has been insane, and I was so optimistic about it. I even brought out my lovely little velvet shoes from a beautiful shop in Venice called Pied Terre. I'll show you the bag. They're just stunning, and I was so excited to finally be able to wear them because there wasn't going to be any puddles for me to accidentally ruin them in. But no, of course, there has been a quick shower this morning, which means that they're going to have to go back in their little dust bag for another couple of days, I reckon, at this point. And yeah, today's outfit though, I am enjoying. I'll just bring you down a bit so I can show you exactly what I've put on. We have, first of all, very classic button down. This one is from Cezanne. This is their tomboy shirt. It's supposed to be kind of like a menswear fit, and yeah, I really like it. I've been working with Cezanne over the past few months, and they've let me try some of their kind of spring and summer pieces. And yeah, I just thought I'm in need of some classic button-down shirts. I kind of live in them actually in the summer, and so I was really happy to get this one. I have this, which as I said is their kind of like boxy menswear fit, and I also have their oversized Max shirt, which I also really, really like. Both of them are very nice quality cotton, very breathable and just really comfy. And I'm wearing these with a pair of Bermuda shorts and socks from Zara actually. And these are really, really old, but I love Bermuda shorts. And I've been looking everywhere for a kind of like more sustainable, slightly nicer quality version of these Bermuda shorts. But it's been really, really hard to find a pair that are as nice as these. So if you know anywhere that's doing good Bermuda shorts, do drop me a link down below because I am searching high and low for them at the moment. And of course, every outfit has to be finished off with an item of knitwear. As it's too warm today, I can't sort of wear a jumper. I mean, if it was a bit cooler, I would be tempted to throw a jumper kind of casually over my shoulders. So today I'm taking out my lovely Brigitte bag that many of you will have seen in my past videos, especially my bag video that I did. And yeah, this is kind of the outfit. I was going to wear my velvet shoes, but maybe just some Birkenstocks for a very sort of like casual and comfy kind of look. Now, other than hiding from the rain, which is definitely on the itinerary for today, I think I'm just going to go for a quick walk and pop to the shop to grab a few foodie bits. And then I reckon I'm going to sort through some of my summer yarns and yeah, just sort of enjoy my day off in kind of peace and tranquility, being all on my own. I do also have to swatch up a few new projects and finish up a few little bits for my What I Made video that is coming out next week. I am going to bring out a What I Made video next week, I promise. And yeah, I want to just finish up as much as I can, so that feels quite rewarding because I know I have taken a break for a couple of months just because I haven't made quite as much stuff. But yeah, I'm going to pop out and then I'm going to get to my swatching. Hi guys, and we are back. I just got back from the shops and filming a silly little outfit reel outside, which I will admit, it never gets less mortifying. But if you're thinking about doing it and you haven't done it before, go and do it. Trust me. People look at me every single time I film something outside, but you know what? It's worth it in the end. And a lot of the time, actually, if some girls walk past me and they see me filming a reel, they'll smile at me or they'll think it's quite cute. So really, my biggest advice on this is don't get nervous, and if you're thinking about filming stuff outside, just go for it and do it. I popped to the shops and I managed to get myself the first punnet of cherries of the season, which I'm really excited about eating now. I'll have to try very carefully not to get any redness over all of this light coloured yarn that I'm about to swatch out. But yeah, I'm just going to make myself a matcha, take off all of my kind of sunglasses and outdoor bits, and then we're going to get stuck in with looking at a few swatches. Ah, and I almost forgot, I wore my velvet shoes. As I was about to head out of the door, I noticed the sun has actually come out. So I thought, you know what, I'm just going to risk it. I think the velvet shoes will be really cute with this outfit. And yeah, I was very happy. There weren't any puddles and they were safe. Welcome to what for this afternoon is going to be formerly known as the swatching station. I am just attaching my needles to my cable and getting everything ready. This is a swatch that I did quite a few days ago for a jumper that I'm test knitting at the moment, which you're going to see very, very soon, probably on my Instagram and also hopefully in my monthly video. It's Drops Air, so that's their blown alpaca yarn, and this was one of the first yarns that I ever really used as a beginner knitter, and I still really love it. It does have the tendency to stretch ever so slightly, but you know, the softness and the puffiness of it, it makes it kind of worth it. So yeah, Drops Air, definitely another lovely one. And this is a piece that I'm not going to show you now because it is a test knit, but I'm really, really excited to share in a few days. Now, I told a lie earlier because I said I was going to make a bag out of the Midi cotton, but when I was sorting through my yarn yesterday evening, I realised I also had this one, which is the Friends Cotton 8x8, I think it is. So it's a 100% cotton yarn that I think is probably often used by crocheters. But I think that this colour would just make the most perfect bag. You can see it's kind of a sandy shade. So if I hold it up next to this, which is kind of like an off-white, it's got quite a lot more yellow to it. But I think that that will be really nice with a lot of my summer outfits. So I'll just take it out of its thing. And these have a very cool little feature to them, these Hobbii yarns, which is this little pull tab that allows you to pull straight from the middle. Yeah, so that's a cool little thing. And I am going to set about swatching this for the Lanta bag. Those of you who watched my video will have already seen the Lanta bag, but it looks like that. Oh, that's made the screen very dark. But yeah, you can kind of see roughly what it's supposed to look like. And a really nice pairing with this blue sort of shirt. I'm kind of going for this, but with slightly lighter colours. Okay, let's get to the swatching. Now the gauge is 21 stitches, so I'm just going to do what I always do, which is long tail cast on with an extra 2 or 3 stitches either side of the swatch to make it nice and neat. I'm not really so used to knitting with these kind of summer like plant fibres, I suppose, and I do find them stiffer, and my needle kind of wants to plunge into the middle of them rather than to smoothly kind of glide when I'm knitting into the stitches. But I think that's just because I'm not used to it, and hopefully after kind of getting into the rhythm it would be a little bit easier. Okay, I've made some progress on my swatch, but I also seem to have made a few mistakes. I might have to rip this back and start over just because I like to keep my swatches, so I like them extra neat. But if you look closely, you can see this bit looks pretty perfect, and it's probably a good representation of what the texture of the bag will actually look like. It's just at the bottom that I read the pattern kind of wrong and I made a bit of a mistake. But still, the texture is really nice. Very kind of stretchy. So yeah, you definitely need a yarn that is a bit more hardy and not as stretchy if you want to make this. So 100% cotton should be good for that, just because it doesn't stretch that much. I mean, it will have stretch because of the actual structure of the pattern and the fact that you're making something with yarn overs and then knitting things together to make some of these holes. I mean, without going into too much detail to kind of reveal how this is made. But yeah, I'm happy with it regardless. And I am really looking forward to making it into a proper bag that I will share with you very, very soon. My plan now for the afternoon is to unravel this, unfortunately, and start it again so I can get a neater swatch, and then continue working on this top secret Drops Air project that I am almost done with. The bells here have just finished chiming, as is kind of inevitable wherever you are in Italy, you're going to hear bells. And that tells me that it's 6 o'clock and about time for me to think about making dinner and kind of settling in for the evening. I have redone part of my swatch and I'm very happy with the way that it looks. And yeah, I think that I'm going to call it a day and just relax, put on some Bridgerton and have something really tasty to eat. I hope that you enjoyed watching this video as much as I enjoyed making it. It was such a fun one to put together, and it really reminded me of part of the reason why I started making videos here on YouTube to begin with, because I always loved watching kind of behind the scenes or like little day in the life videos, and it's just been so much fun and given me a lot of inspiration to revisit some of the type of content that I always adored when I was younger. So yeah, have a great evening and a great weekend, because this will probably go up Friday or Saturday morning, and happy knitting! Bye!